In the year 955, Rome was in chaos. The city wasn't ruled by piety or justice, but by the greed and ambition of one powerful family, the Crescentii. And from their grasping hands, they placed a boy, barely 18, upon the throne of St. Peter. His name was Octavianus, but history would remember him as Pope John XIV, the most corrupt pope to ever wear the papal crown. While the people of Rome prayed for a just and holy shepherd, John XIV was turning the sacred halls of the Lateran Palace into his personal playground. He drank and gambled as if he were a common rogue, not the head of Christ's church. He seduced noble women, bedded widows, and even took vows of chastity as a mere suggestion rather than a sacred duty. It is whispered, even among the horrified clergy, that he did not hesitate to lay hands on pilgrims and even his own family members. But his sins weren't confined to the bedroom. No, John XIV was a man of violence and vengeance. His enemies didn't just vanish, they were murdered, mutilated, or exiled. A deacon who dared to speak against him, blinded, a priest who questioned his authority, castrated, and yet the people feared him, for he was the Pope, the Vicar of Christ. Who could stand against such unchecked power? But power is never eternal. John IV, reckless as he was, found himself surrounded by enemies. To protect his rule, he turned to a powerful ally, Otto I, the King of Germany. In exchange for military support, John did something no pope had done in nearly a century. He crowned Otto as Holy Roman Emperor. It should have been a partnership. But John V was not a man of loyalty. Soon after Otto left, the young pope plotted against him, allying with his enemies. When Otto returned to Rome, he did not come in peace. He came for vengeance. The great emperor stormed the city, his soldiers dragging John V's allies from their homes. And as the cowardly pope fled into the hills, Otto did what no man had dared before. He deposed a sitting pope and replaced him with another, Leo VIII. But John XIV was not finished yet. The fallen pope returned to Rome with a fury like never before. He reclaimed the city, torturing and executing all who had betrayed him. Some were beaten to death, others had their tongues cut out, and those loyal to Otto. They were hunted like animals. But before John XIV could secure his power, fate, or perhaps divine justice, intervened. In the year 964, the reign of Pope John XIV came to an end, not in glory, but in disgrace. Some say he suffered a stroke in the throes of passion, that his own body betrayed him in his most sinful moment. Others whisper that he was murdered by the jealous husband of one of his lovers, slain in a violent, blood-soaked rage. One thing is certain, no one mourned his passing. His enemies declared his death a sign of divine punishment, and his name was whispered in the halls of the Vatican with shame and horror. Today, the name John XIV is remembered as a stain upon the papacy, a warning of what happens when power falls into the hands of the corrupt, the reckless, and the sinful. For while the Church would recover, while great and holy popes would rise to restore its honor, there will always be the shadow of John XIV lurking in the pages of history, a ghostly reminder that even the throne of St. Peter is not immune to the temptations of the world.